Great. Okay. So, since it's a little chilly still, let's do this. There we go. I think that's going to be a little bit better. Perfect. Okay. So, let's get started. Here's Willie. Willie, say hello. Say hello. Okay, come here. Good girl. My little sidekick here. Okay, so let's start with some breath work. We have some movements planned for today. So let's do lower abdominal breathing. So 2 hands below the belly button, relax the shoulders down, feel your feet pressing in, all four corners of each foot pressing down, and the crown of the head reaching up towards the sky. Imagine that you can create just a little bit more space, even if you think about like micro space, just by pressing down through the feet and reaching the head towards the sky. So getting a little bit longer. And then slowing the breath down. Letting the belly be nice and relaxed so that when we inhale, the diaphragm descends. When we inhale, the belly pushes out. And then as we exhale, diaphragm lifts.
Come look at Willie.
Lifts back up. So inhale, let the belly push out, and then exhale, the belly draws back in towards the spine. If you just joined, we are recording this session, so if you feel like keeping your camera on, that's great. If you feel like turning it off, keep breathing. I am just going to check one thing with the people that I sent this link to and make sure that I got everyone. Just continue to breathe nice and slowly, letting the belly be nice and relaxed so that when we inhale, the belly pushes out. And then when we exhale, the belly pulls back in gently towards the spine. Yep, I knew I forgot someone. Nice and slow. We'll take an extra minute, really allowing our attention to be focused on the breath, which helps to bring our mind into the now, this moment. Letting everything go in terms of what we have to do later today or worries about the future, sort of let them just melt away as our attention becomes laser focused on our breath, our posture, how we're feeling as we inhale, and the breath turns into energy in our bodies. And then you can crack your eyes open and let's go right into knocking on the door of life. So turning from the hips and the waist. Starting to bring some energy into the digestive system and the internal organs, the lower back, the spine. And then come up below the collarbone. All the way to the top of the shoulders. And then come back down below the collarbone. And then back down to the waist. And let's start to slowly unwind. All right, so spine nice and opened. Kathleen, sorry, I neglected to add you to the list until I realized that you weren't here. So I apologize for that. So we just did some breathing, some spinal cord opening exercises, starting with knocking on the door of life. Let's do a little bit of spinal cord breathing. Take the opportunity, like you're taking the first big stretch and yawn of the day, opening up the front of the chest, looking up on the inhale, and then exhale, tucking the chin down and forward, opening the back of the spine. Just inhaling, and even maybe putting the attention on the spine, right? And how our ribs extend, the relationship between this column, like the spinal column, the sternum, right? And then the ribs that wrap around. And then the relationship of our ribs to how we're breathing, right? We open up, the ribs are expanding, allowing the lungs to expand. And then as we exhale, there's a little bit of a contraction, right? The ribs kind of pull in, the lungs pull in, and we get to exhale all of the stuff that we need to get rid of. And just a few more rounds. So inhaling and exhaling. Maybe noticing if there's any specific area that is popping out, is jumping out at you, like, oh, that area a little bit more stuck or sticky, so that we can put some attention on those areas. And on the next exhalation, let the arms drop down. So another movement of the spinal column that we don't do as often, it's more of a wave, is called the turtle wave. So we're going to start with having the hands on the upper thighs. We'll start first tucking the chin down. So we start, chin tucks down, and then we bend forward slightly so the chin is still tucking down. And then as we come to maybe about a 45-degree angle, you're going to raise your head so that your chin juts forward, and then roll. I won't say roll. We're going to extend the spine and then come up. So the chin tucks down, the hands slide down the upper thighs, and then you're going to extend the chin forward and come up. So there's a little bit of a wave that we're creating with the spine and coming up, chin tucks down. So we're rolling the spine, rolling down and then extending the spine as we come up. And the breath here is we exhale down and inhale up. Exhale down and inhale up. Keeping the shoulders nice and relaxed. So there's an undulation that's happening. Really great for the spinal column. And you can make, if you don't feel as great going as deeply, you can make it the movement a little smaller, right? Just the chin tucking down, and then a very gentle extension forward and up, or you can go a little bit deeper. Exhaling down, inhaling up. It's almost like we're moving sort of like cat cow, but there's a continuity, right? We're rolling into extension and then rolling into contraction. And then let's come all the way up and pause. We're going to go in the opposite direction now. So instead of starting with the chin tucking down and rolling down, we're going to extend the chin forward, coming a little bit. So we're extending first, and then the head drops down and the chin tucks in as we roll up. So we go into extension first, so the back is flat. And then as we come down, we let the head drop down, chin tucks down, and roll all the way up. Hand still on the thighs. Think about a turtle sticking its head right out from underneath the shell. So we're just allowing really nice, gentle waves to happen throughout the spine, creating suppleness, a good amount of blood flow, removing the spinal fluid that bathes and nourishes all of the nerves that run through the center of that cord. And one more exhale. And then let's roll up, come back to the center. And we did this next exercise last week, I believe, picking cherries. And I love it because it seems so simple and subtle. But if you really focus on what we're doing, it really does decompress the lumbar spine. Jamie, I'm talking to you. We had this discussion yesterday or 2 days ago. So the arms are above you, your feet are planted on the ground, and then we're going to start with the left hand. He's going to reach up, almost like you're trying to pick something off of a really high shelf, like a cookbook or something, pressing in with the left foot, and then come back to the center. You can even bend the knees slightly. And then as we reach up now with the right arm, pressing through the right foot, get a nice elongation all the way into the lower back, and then back to the center. And if you go slow, right, and just placing your awareness on your lower back, you can actually almost even isolate in your brain, like the area that we're trying to extend and create space and decompress, and then back to the center. So this is so gentle. So for anyone that has back pain or you've been sitting for a long time, long flights, this is a great thing to do. Honestly, in a flight, like get up, either like in the aisle or maybe back towards the the bathroom, just doing a little bit of this can really help to bring some energy into the low back. And by pressing in with that foot, that same side, right, you're helping to add some extension, which will help to create even more space. And do one more. And then bring the arms down. And let's do a little meridian stretch. So this is going to be Dao Yin, which we've done before, but we're adding in a little additional movement with lunges. Lunges and then extending. So going into a lunge and extending, lunge and extend. I'll show you. So we start with the feet together, hands clasped except for your index finger. I'm going to inhale, extend. So the pointer fingers are reaching up. You're pressing in to the bottoms of the feet, a little slight back bend, really extend, and then clasp your hands behind your head and then bend your knees. And as we do, the elbows come together and you're crouching down, making a nice tight ball. And then inhale, start to straighten the legs and then extend the arms up on the inhale. And then exhale, coming back down. Just think about even making a really tight, 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 tight coil and then releasing the coil and we spring up. And then one more time, it's inhale or exhale, I should say. Let the arms drop down for a moment. So we're going to come to a lunge. So you're going to step forward with your left foot. You can even make sure your feet aren't too narrow. You want some space, front to back and left to right. And then come into a very gentle knee bend. So press in through the back foot so that back leg is straight and your front knee is bent. And then bring your hands to the center of your chest so that your thumbs are pressing into your sternum. And then raise your arms so they're extended above your head. Take a nice inhale. And as we exhale, straighten that front knee and bring your hands to the center of your chest again. And then bend the knee, straighten the arms up. Inhale, and then straighten the leg and exhale. Press in through that back foot, coming into a slight lunge and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Do 3 more on this side. And exhale. Nice inhale, reaching up and exhale. So we're building some heat in the legs. And last one. Now come back to the center, step back with your left foot, and then step forward with your right foot. I'll turn sideways so you can see. So your right foot should be, your right leg should be behind, in front, and then pressing in with your left foot, and then coming into a slight lunge. So the back leg can keep a slight bend in the knee, but you want it to be you want to be able to push gently through that back foot and then bending the front knee, bringing the hands to the center of your chest. to start. Just feel a nice stretch to the back leg. And then inhale the arms up. Take a nice inhale. And then on the exhale, straighten that front leg, bringing the hands to the center of your chest. So inhale, bending into that front leg, and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And you don't have to go that deeply either. So if you want to make the stance a little more narrow, you can do that. Just make sure that your front knee isn't going over your toes like that. That's a lot of pressure on your knee. So you want to make sure if you look down that you can see your toes. Let's do a few more of these. So inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Let's do two more of these. And now let's come back to the center. Bring your feet so they're back at the same level. Bring the feet back to a closer stance. And then we're just going to let our bodies hang over. So keeping the knees slightly bent, just let the arms hang. So we're giving the lower back a nice gentle stretch, the hamstrings a nice gentle stretch. Let the crown of your head spill forward towards the ground. Take a nice slow inhale. And a nice slow exhale. And then we'll clasp the hands, make a basket with your fingers. And then very slowly, we're going to roll the spine. So we're coming to a stand, keeping the hands clasped. And then we're going to raise this little basket so that they are extending, the hands are extending above the head, and then come up to the balls of your feet. That first point on the kidney channel. It's translated to raising the bubbling spring. Nice stretch. And then you can bring your feet all the way back down, but keep the arms extended. And then we're going to gently lean over to the left. Press in through that left foot. Right? It's that we're moving in two different directions. We're pressing down with the lower half of the body and then extending from the waist up. And then inhale to the center. Now we're going to exhale over to the right, pressing in through the left foot. This is the gallbladder channel that we're stretching. This is all about wood and springtime, right? And let's come back to the center. Let the arms come down to about shoulder height. Keep the wrists flexed. So the palms are facing out. Oof, I already feel that in the forearms. And then let the head tilt over. Just let it rest over to the left. Breathing. Don't forget to breathe. And then bring the head to the center and then let it gently tilt over to the right. Press to the sides of the room with the palms of your hands. Spreading the fingers. And then inhale the head back to the center. Let the arms float down and just close your eyes for a moment. Feel all of that energy circulating, all of that chi. And let's go into, well, let's shake first. Let's get everything all, we'll say, like a shaking the rug out. We're shaking all the debris that might be still left over. And let's start to come to stillness for a moment. And let's come to a wide stance. So sunrise over the lake. That's what we're doing today. So similar to moon rising over the lake, except that the hands are facing up. So we'll start with palms facing up, a slight bend in the knees, and we're just going to shift the weight from the right foot to the left foot. And as we do, the hands are just coming across, like we're gliding the hands across the surface of water, right? But we're moving from the hips and the waist. So there's a weight shift. And the arms just float across, following the weight shift. Think of the sun rising up, starting to generate some heat. And when that heat and sunlight is generated, the surface of the water absorbs it. And then we have this mist that rises up. So now as we come across over to the right, I'm gonna raise the arms up just like water turning into mist rising up, coming to the center. And then we'll exhale down over to the left. And just as we come to the bottom, touching the top of the lake, the hands turn back up. And gliding across. So inhale, we come up and over. We start to exhale as we descend. And then the hands flip up. The palms face up again as we glide over. Exhaling. And then inhaling up. And exhaling down. Just thinking of the transformation, right, of water to vapor, and condenses, forms rain, and comes back down. Just as our energy can transform, like our emotional energy, our mind or our spirit, the physical body, they're all different energies of who we are, but it's all us. Just gliding across as we inhale, right, moving fluidly. Allowing everything to relax. Imagining that we're part of this transition, the sun rising, that heat that's generated, water starting to transform into a mist or vapor that rises up and then descends back down. Let's come to the center with the palms facing up. And let's just stay center now, just gliding back and forth, shifting the weight before we go into the opposite direction. And now let's come across, glide across to the left, inhale up. And now we're descending over to the right. And inhale across. Exhale, descend. Nice and slow. Think about how slow the sun, it's incredible, right? The sun, as it starts to rise, it seems sometimes so slow. And then sometimes you realize how fast it actually happens, right? Just imagine that we're moving slowly, almost imperceptibly. And let's come back to the center now and hold our chi ball. So the next movement is a version of wrist cross, which we've done before. I've spoken about the acupuncture point that's about 3-finger breaths above the wrist crease. On the inside, it's a point on the pericardium channel. And then the counterpoint on the outside of the forearm, also 3-finger breaths up, is a point on the triple burner or Sanjiao channel. And they are for our immune system on the outside, our actual immune system. And then the pericardium channel, the pericardium is a protector. It wraps around the heart. So this is for our emotional immune system. So we're going to turn slightly so that we are in a pseudo lunge, somewhat facing maybe the corner of the room to your right. And what we're going to do is we're going to lean forward over that knee, and then the arms just hang down. And now we're going to cross the arms at about that point, right? And we're going to come all the way up to stand. And as we do, your arms are crossed. They're going to uncross and then come down. So we're going to lean forward. And as we do, the arms cross And then we're going to come up to the center. The arms uncross, pulling gently across, and then reaching down. So nice and loose, the arms cross. We come to the center, and then exhale down. Inhale, rising up. And this is wrist crossing is it's a protective stance if we're doing it, just holding the position, but it's about creating really good balance in our immune system and our emotional immune system. Right? Engaging with the world and the people in our lives, but not taking on, right, certain emotions that aren't really yours. We can be there and be present, but we have our own Wei Qi, WEI, is this sort of protective, it's the outer layer of our energy system that is associated with our ability to be able to, ward off pathogens, bacteria and viruses, but also the pericardium. It's that protector of the heart. It's having emotional balance that allows us to be there and engage in even in turbulent times, but not let it become and sticky, right? And stick and create imbalances in our own system. We're inhaling, coming up, and then exhale down. Inhale, exhale. Let's do one more on this side. And then as we come up, let's come to the center. And then I'm going to turn. So we're facing the left now, bending the left knee slightly, press into the back foot. And then we're going to lean over slightly, let the arms be nice and loose, crossing at the forearms. And then inhale as we come up, spreading across, and then exhale down. We're going to inhale to the center and then exhale. Bending that front knee, crossing the wrist, and then straightening that front knee as we come to the center. Hands spread across and then down. Moving slowly, inhaling, drawing up energy into protective layer. I like calling it the semi-permeable membrane because I'm a nerd and I love biology, right? We have semi-permeable membranes in our cells, and that is like the analogy, right? We don't want to have a steel armor, right? We want to open ourselves in a healthy way for life's experiences, being able to not only enjoy joy, right, and love, but embracing the challenges and stuff that might be temporarily uncomfortable, but having a real and integrated emotional health system and immune system helps so that we can navigate things and feel balanced. That semi-permeable membrane, right? What we want to filter in and filter out. And let's come to the center on the next exhale. Let's bring the feet just a little closer together. We will continue the wrist crossing at the center. So I'm going to very, very subtly lean forward, the arms crisscross. And then as we come up, the arms separate and then exhale down. So we inhale, exhale down. And you can even switch. So if the right arm is in front with this round, you can swap it so the opposite arm is in front the next time. It doesn't really matter. It's more the intention. Right. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. So I'm bending the knees slightly. Inhale, pulling up. And then exhale. Now this time, as we inhale, keep your arms crossed in front of you for a moment. So my arms are about maybe 7 or 8 inches away from me. The arms aren't touching. They're just right in front of one another, crossed at about that 3 finger breaths above the wrists. And just imagine, if you close your eyes, that you have this beautiful golden orb or circle, this glowing circle that is in front of you, right behind you, to your right and left, above you and below you. Right? This protective, glowing light that keeps you safe, but that glows as a reflection of your life force, as an extension of you. And then slowly start to separate your hands now that you're in your bubble, separating the arms. And then exhale, letting the arms drop down. Come back to the chi ball for a moment. Think of this chi ball that you're holding, right, as a smaller version of this chi orb that's surrounding you. Maybe a more condensed version. That is your own life force. And then drop your arms down. Let's inhale the arms down, around, and up. And then exhale, the arms float back down. And then inhale. And exhale. One last time. Inhale, and then let's bring the feet together again. Hand on top of the other. Make a little circle, the lower abdomen. And then let's just pause here. And when you're ready, you can crack your eyes open. Thank you, everyone. I hope you had a good class. Always great seeing all of you, you little brilliant lights, all of you.
Thank you.
Kathleen, I'm so sorry. Kathleen comes every week and like somehow I neglected. I'm like, I even texted you. I'm like, it's gonna be a remote today. And then of course I'm like, where's Kathleen? So I apologize for that. But I will see you all next week, hopefully, and I hope you have a great weekend. Enjoy the
You
solar
too.
eclipse.
Thank you.
It's a
You
lot of
too.
energy, coming on Monday. So just like take it easy.
Okay.
Don't try to do too much. Okay, take care.
Bye.